Hey everyone, my name is Emily. I'm a 200-hour RYT, which is a registered yoga teacher, and I'll be guiding you through your practice today. So before we get started, just a few things I want to mention. I do recommend that you have a block on hand. Usually they're kind of a harder foam, really easy to find on Amazon, Target. But if you don't have one, do not worry. What also works great is a thick book, kind of like one you might have around the house, on your coffee table, an art book, even an old textbook you want to dust off. Those are great and sturdy. Next thing I recommend having is a blanket. You do not need a yoga blanket. Preferably something a bit thicker that you can roll would be great to have. Those are the two main things we're going to need besides our bodies today. Do want to mention, so I would say this practice is relatively beginner, intermediate. We're not going to be doing any headstands or anything too crazy. But if there's anything that does not feel right to you, maybe you haven't done any exercise in a while, like that's perfectly fine. Just back off, listen to what your body's trying to tell you. I will be giving several different modifications and options, and feel free to use those. Like, no one's going to be watching or judging. Contrary to social media, yoga is not about how bendy you can be and if you can fit into a pretzel. So I just want to throw that out there. I'm not in a fancy studio. You don't need to be in a fancy studio or have, a super expensive pair of leggings from Lululemon. Like, we're just going to focus on being present, moving our bodies, breathing, and all that good stuff. So no professional yoga experience is necessary. So let's get started. All right, so getting started, go ahead, grab that blanket, towel, a thin pillow, and place it under your hips. And go ahead, find a comfortable seated position. So maybe that looks like having your ankles pulled in closer to your body. It could be spreading them farther away, not being fully crossed. Again, finding something that is comfortable for you. And we'll go ahead, roll our shoulders down and back, just starting letting the hands just straight gently over the knees, pulling our neck back, chin will be slightly tucked, and we're imagining that there's a string pulling up the top of our head. So imagining that spine lengthening and getting nice and tall. And just noticing the breath here. So not trying to change it, just seeing how we're breathing. You could be watching this video at the end of the day and where you've had a lot going on. Breathing might be a little faster. Just checking in right now, no need to manipulate or change. Again, if you're doing this in the morning, you might be a little sleepy, breathing a little slower. Just pausing and checking in. I like to begin each class with an intention. It kind of helps keep us focused and work well with a little theme, and today's theme is grounding, and it's something that I think we all need and is not talked about enough. So grounding for me is just feeling not just literally connected to the ground physically, but also emotionally and mentally. So in our world, there's a lot going on, just in the world outside of our homes and in our homes and in our mind. There's just constant noise and movement. And so I like to think of those thoughts. You can think of them as wind or leaves just always kind of going, right? And you might have a moment of calm and pause. But generally, I'd say for most of us, we've got a lot going on. And so when we think of grounding, we just kind of want to recenter, refocus on ourselves and just kind of be still and feel firm and planted and rooted. So that being said, for the theme today, as we go through the practice, I will mention times of like recentering, focus, grounding. A lot of times, yeah, that will have to do with our feet, but also check in with your mind. How are there too many thoughts going on? Do you need to just kind of like, okay, I'm just focusing on this class right now, one thing at a time, that's fine. With all of this, try to come from a place of non-judgment. So if you do find yourself trailing off, that's fine. We're all gonna do it. Even people that are more experienced get distracted. So from a place of non-judging, just kind of gently like, okay, I'm gonna re-ground myself, refocus. Okay, so we're just gonna start with some deep breaths here. Staying in that nice, tall, lengthened posture. Inhaling in through the nose and out through the mouth. And repeating that. Just a gentle blow, nothing too forceful. Right now we'll just try to evenly keep that in for 4 counts and out for 4 counts. Good. And starting on our theme of grounding, notice the parts in your body that are physically touching the ground. The tops of your feet, back of your thigh, sit bones. Take a moment to feel physically connected to the ground. And we'll change our breathing slightly to breathe in for 4, but this time on our exhale, just keeping the lips closed. We'll be using this in for 4, out for 4 pattern through most of our class today. So we're just kind of getting used to it right now. And starting from our base. So right now we've got our base, our hips. Kind of imagine there's a seed that's planted in your center. And on each inhale, it grows a few inches. Just seeing it rise, little stem coming up gently. And exhaling, seeing the roots spread down. Grounding itself. Being sturdy and stable. Taking a few breaths here. Your little plant may be pretty tall by now, and that's fine. Just focusing on that growth on the inhale and that grounding and rooting on the exhale. Wanting us to keep this visual for the duration of class. Visualizing those roots in the ground, that firm foundation. And just a few more breaths here. Good. So we'll go ahead and get started with our physical part of the practice. Okay, so getting started with our we're going to stay in this seated position here. We might want to remove the blanket, just set it aside. I'll let you know when we'll need it. We'll begin by placing the left palm down a few inches away from your body, bringing the right arm up, inhaling and exhaling here. Turning the chin up slightly if that's comfortable for you, or down, looking at your hand. Even breaths here, working on lengthening the side body, getting it nice and loose and warm. And coming up, other side here, right palm down, left arm comes up, chin looking up to the elbow or down to the ground, whatever's more comfortable for your neck. We'll do it again on each side. If you feel you're able, you can walk this arm out a little bit. I just want you to make sure you're not rocking, that both sit bones and hips are staying on the ground. As long as you're able to keep those hips on the ground, then you can go ahead and walk your hand out to get a better stretch. Good. Doing some gentle twists here, placing the right hand on the left knee. Other hand's gonna go kind of in the center of your back. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, twisting to your left. Inhale, you're gonna release. And exhale, twist. Inhale, release. Exhale, twist. Good. Coming back to center, other side. So left hand comes to right knee this time. Right hand is centered, sitting up nice and tall. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Pulling the belly button to the spine on the exhale. Inhale, twist. Release. Exhale, twist. Good. Coming back to center. I'm going to turn so you can see what I'm doing, but you'll stay where you are. So I want you to reach your hands back, clasp your hands, pull your fists to your left hip, and gently squeeze the elbows together, pretending you're holding a ball in between those elbows, getting a nice stretch in the front of your body. And then just reach out, other side, hands to right hip, gentle twist here, or squeeze here. Inhale one more time. Exhale, left side, gentle squeeze. Keeping the neck long. Inhale, exhale, squeezing those elbows gently together. Good. Now, from where you're seated, we're going to move into a tabletop position. So for tabletop, your hands are below your shoulders, knees are under your hips. To start, we're going to put the left foot back, right arm forward. Inhale, lift as high as you can. That may only be a few inches, that's fine. Just inhale as high as you can, pulling belly button to the spine, keeping our core stable. And even inhale and exhale here. And switching sides. Right foot back this time, left arm forward, inhaling, lift, holding. During balance poses, we tend to hold our breath. I don't want you to do that. I want you to keep breathing evenly. Do it one more time on each side, left leg back, right arm forward, inhaling, lift, exhaling, and other side, right foot back, left arm forward, and lift. Just warming up the core here. Good. All right, so we're gonna speed things up a little bit. So we're going to move with our breath a little more. Again, right arm forward, left foot back. This time, inhaling, releasing back down, inhaling. Good, so try to make this flowy as possible. Keeping that core engaged by pulling that belly button into your spine. Last one here. Good. So lowering down to the ground, however is comfortable for you, just gently lowering. We're going to put our arms out in front of us, a little bit of a V. Head will come down. Forehead can go on the ground if that's comfortable for you. So you can hear me, I'm going to keep my head up for now. So you're going to inhale, gently lift the back leg. The left toe will have a gentle point. We're not forcing the point, just a gentle point. Raising it a few inches and lowering down. And right leg this time. Gentle lift and lower. Again, left leg comes up a few inches, hold, lower down. Right leg, lift, lower down. This time we're going to be using our upper body. So we'll inhale, lift the left leg, the right arm, several inches, lower down. Inhale, left arm, right leg lifts, again, just as high as you can comfortably, and lower. Lift, left leg, right arm, lower. Other side. And you may have noticed this is similar to what we did on the tabletop. Moving with our breath here. Do one more time on each side. Good. Now we're going to do it just a few times, full body, meaning we're going to have our legs and our upper body lifting into locust pose. Okay, so starting, your forehead will be down on the ground, arms in the slight V shape, feet, tops of the feet are on the ground. We'll take an inhale here. Inhale, just lift as high as you can. Exhale, lower. Forehead coming back to the top of the mat. Good. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, lower. All right. We're going to take our palms, put them underneath our shoulders, and we're going to press up, coming back into a tabletop. This time we're going to walk our hands forward into puppy pose. This is a nice stretch for our upper body. And a bit of a core stretch. We already have been working our core a bit, so just hanging out here for a few moments. Good. Stay in this position for a few breaths, wanting to reconnect with that breath. So reconnecting, we're inhaling evenly in for 4, out for 4. Alrighty, so to keep things moving from puppy pose, you're going to gently walk the hands forward, coming into a kneeling position. We're going to put our left leg out, toes pointed. Our left hand will be at the top of our thigh. Right arm comes up and over, sliding this hand down. I don't want you to press and put a lot of force on your leg. Just keep it gentle. If you're finding you're forcing it too much, come up a bit. Release a bit of that pressure. And breathing evenly. Good. Next inhale, rise up. Exhale, switching sides. I'm going to scoot over a little bit. Right leg comes out. Right arm to the top of the leg. Inhaling up. Exhaling, sliding down. Here, like in the beginning, neck can be either chin looking down at your leg, up at the elbow. All it depends on your comfort level. There's no right or wrong. I'm just staying here for a few moments. Rising up on the inhale and exhale, knees together. And coming in to tabletop once more. This time we're going to thread the needle. Before we begin, checking in with your alignment, making sure you're not pushed forward. Knees are below the hips. Wrists are underneath your shoulders. We're going to inhale, starting with the left arm, reaching the left arm up. Exhaling, putting it through the top of your shoulder, and your arm are going to come down, reaching that opposite arm forward. Forehead resting on the mat. Taking some even inhale and exhale breaths here. To come out, you'll bring your top arm under your shoulder, press into that palm, and return to tabletop. Opposite side, right arm comes up. Inhale and exhaling, threading it through, dropping that right shoulder, reaching the left hand, pressing gently into the floor with the left palm. And the side of your head will be looking to the right. Breathing evenly in for 4, out for 4 here. And to come out of this pose, we'll bring our left hand underneath the shoulder, gently press into the floor, coming back to tabletop. And to move into our standing portion of the class from here, keeping your knees bent. We'll step your right foot forward and your left. Again, knees stay bent. Just doing a gentle, gentle, gentle forward fold. So just coming down as far as you can. We're not really warmed up in the legs, so you don't want to force it right now. Good. And from here, we're going to gently roll up. To standing in mountain. To start, we'll have our feet in line with our hips. Not out too far, not right together, just nice and neutral, curling our tailbone down so our hips are tucking in, not sticking out. Our shoulder blades are down our back, palms are facing towards the front, fingers extended, neck is long, slight tuck of the chin, and we're pretending we have a string pulling up at the top of our head, lengthening the spine, feeling very tall in this moment. We're grounding through the four corners of our feet, so pretending that our toes, our two front corners, our heels, our two back corners, and we're pressing in, just feeling that contact with our mat, whatever surface you're standing on, feeling rooted, energy through the fingers so they're not just hanging out. We're extending our fingers. A lot going on in this pose that looks like we're just standing here. Just taking a moment to reconnect with our breathing, that even in for 4 and out for 4. And focusing on this sensation of stillness. Good. So moving forward, go ahead and we're going to face our mat long ways. Just adjusting my camera a bit so you can see my feet. We're going to stand our toes facing the back of our mat and bringing our left foot forward. We're going to come into a lunge. This is a runner's lunge. We're going to have our left hand on the outside of our left foot, the right hand on the other side. So there's a hand on each side of your foot. We're pressing into the back heel, keeping that leg in the back as straight as you can. Our front knee is going to stay over our ankle. Don't want to be overextending it or pushing back. If you can't, if you're having problems, you can always adjust this back foot that needs to come up or back. But we're just going to stay here, get a nice stretch in our hip flexor. These are often pretty tight from sitting most of the day, if that's our job or if we're resting on the couch. Also here we want to be pulling the belly button to the spine, protecting our core and our low back. And from here we're going to shift into a high lunge. So take your time with this. I'm going to scoot my foot back a little bit, and you can use your leg as support and come up into a high lunge. Our right leg in the back is going to stay straight. We've got this foot flex. You're not going to think about putting it down on the ground yet. Good hip flexor stretch. We've got our knee. I'm going to move my foot back to have that nice 90-degree angle. Arms are up, shoulders are pressed down. When our arms are up, we tend to want to pull them up into our ears, but that's not where we want them for this pose. So really planting down with your feet here. Just taking a few breaths once again, keeping that core nice and engaged. Good. We'll drop our arms, swivel this back foot down so it's facing a 45-degree angle. Front leg will stay, toes pointing forward. For warrior one, we want our hips to be directly forward. I like to think of you have little headlights on your hip bones, so you want them facing the front. We're not going to be at an angle here. Keep them straight ahead. That might mean adjusting your feet, and that's okay. Once more, knee stays over that ankle, arms come up. We're pressing into our back foot, so the outside of your right foot right now should be really firm into your mat. So we're grounding, we're strong, we've got nice stable support here. Working from the leg up, I like to think, okay, what are my feet doing? My feet are planted, okay. Moving up, are my legs activated? Squeezing, hips facing forward, core is engaged, upper body, shoulders are down, pressing into the back. We're going to keep our neck neutral here, just looking forward. Energy through the fingers, so don't just drop your hands, forget about the fingers, they're still straight and activated. Good. From here we're going to do a little movement with this pose. Inhale, exhale, we're going to straighten the front leg, bring the arms down. Inhale, bend and reach. Exhale, straighten and press. Good, we'll do this twice more. Inhale, exhale, lower. Inhale, straighten, exhale, lower. Good job. We're going to come do that on the other side. So from here, we'll go back into our high lunge. Scoot this over. Having one hand on each side of our foot. Getting that nice press through the left ankle. Feeling that stretch in our left hip flexor. Making sure not to hyperextend the knee. And breathing here. Pulling the belly button into the spine. And shifting to high lunge. Once again, go at your own pace here. I'm going to bring my feet up a little closer. You can use your thigh as balance, just coming up and recentering. Both of our toes should be facing forward, so we're not at an angle here. Feet are facing forward. That back left foot is flexed. Heels reaching towards the ground, but not on the ground. Getting that nice stretch here. Core is engaged. Checking in with your shoulders. Are they up? They should be down. Gently bring them back down. Active through the fingers. Breathing. And we'll move into warrior one. So come out of this. Similar setup. Front foot is facing forward. Back foot This will be our left foot spacing out at a 45-degree angle. I like to try to turn my hips before I bend, so I think we'll naturally want to kind of come out the 45-degree angle. That's not for warrior 1, that's warrior 2. So we're gonna shift the headlights forward. If that means bringing your back foot in, that's fine. We just want to protect our form here. And then bending the front knee. Arms come up once more. Our heel is on the ground for warrior 1. Checking the knee is not going over the ankle, over the toes. One way to check this is to look down. If you can see your toes, then you're good. If you can't, just come back up a little bit. Checking in with your feet here. So we're pressing in to that back heel, that back outer edge of the left foot. The whole foot is pressing in to the front of the mat, and our front right foot. We're feeling strong. We're staying strong up through our upper body. And we're going to start our movement here. So inhale for 4. Exhale, straighten, arms come down. Inhale, bend. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, bend. Exhale. Do this one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Coming up through center, we're going to go back to our left side to do warrior 2. Warrior 2, our left toe will be pointing directly at the wall. This time our right foot is going to be at a 90-degree angle. And so to set up properly, you'll want to picture your left heel intersecting the middle of your right foot. So kind of like here, kind of if you need that visual, like the heel would be coming and meeting your right foot at the back, middle, okay? Here we are going to keep our hips to this side. Arms come up, shoulder height, bending into the left knee. Once more, right knee stays over, left knee stays over, left ankle, right foot, that outside edge of your foot, side of your pinky toe is pressing firmly into the mat. So you're not having all of your weight up front or all of your weight in back. You've got a nice balance here. Can't see my shoulders, but my arms are in line with my shoulders just out straight. Here you can look over to your left. That's comfortable. Keeping our legs where they are. We're going to come down, drop our forearm of our left hand up, reaching over. Head can be down, looking at your left foot, or up, looking at the right elbow. Here, you really want to keep that core pulled in tight, helping with balance. Another thing that helps with balance is breathing. Keeping it nice and even. Good, and we're going to come up by pretending we're pulling this top hand. We're going to be like up. Let's pretend someone's pulling you up. Good. And switching sides. Warrior 2 on the right. Same thing. Our right foot will be pointing directly out to the side. Back foot is at a 90-degree angle. We want our heel to be in line with that middle back foot, our left foot in this case. We'll bend the right leg, knee over the ankle, back left leg is straight, arms come up. We're pressing firmly into both feet, checking in that we're not shifting. Weight either side, nice and center. Pressing into that back side of the left foot. Feeling strong. Just checking in with your alignment by starting with the feet. So we checked in with our feet, moving up. Ankle is, knee is over ankle. Our hips this time are, they can be they're at a bit of an angle. Arms are even with our shoulders. Perhaps you're looking over to the right. We're just looking straight ahead. And dropping our right arm, that forearm goes to the right thigh, reaching up and over with our top arm, keeping our gaze up towards the left elbow or looking straight down. In our next inhale, we'll use our top arm to pretend we're being pulled up and come back to center. So for our last standing pose, we'll have our block. Right now, we'll just have it out on our mat, kind of in the center of our feet. Our feet are going to be wider than our hips this time. So to come into a wide forward fold, we're going to put our hands on our hips. Take a big inhale. Exhale, folding forward. And this is where your block comes in. So depending on your flexibility, you can have your block at this highest point. You can turn it to the side, have it flat, or no block. I'll use mine here for example. So here in our forward fold, just letting our head hang, breathing in for 4 and out for 4. Just come down as far as you can comfortably. Hamstrings might still be a little tight, and that's okay. So if you can only come halfway, you're still getting the benefit of the pose. We'll take our left hand, put it on our block or the floor. Right hand will come to our back. We're going to inhale, exhale, twist, opening up the right side, reaching that right arm up, turning the neck to look at your right thumb. If that's uncomfortable, you can certainly look down at the floor. Kind of keeping the weight evenly distributed on each foot. No shifting. If you need to widen your legs, you can. Toes are pointing towards the front. And we'll release this, switching sides. Right arm coming to the block or floor this time. Inhaling, turning over, reaching that left arm up. Nice even inhales and exhales here. Core is still engaged. And exhaling down. We'll do one more time each side. So hand on the lower back, inhaling, exhaling, twisting up. Switching sides, bringing the hand down, swapping places here. Hand to low back, inhaling, exhaling, twisting to the left. Once again, neck looking up or back to your hand on the floor. And lowering down to come up. Just put our hands on our hips, engage the core, squeezing tummy in, pressing up slowly. I'm gonna go ahead and transition to the ground. So do that how it feels comfortable for you. Now on the floor, we're going to move into staff pose and kind of straighten out after that twist. So legs are out in front of you. Feet are going to be flexed, toes pointing up towards you. Hands are going to be flat on the floor, pressing gently into the ground. Neck is long. We've got that pretend string that's pulling our head up. Slight tuck of the chin, pulling the core in, so belly button to spine, just straightening out here. We'll release this. And doing a few forward folds, we're going to leave our left leg where it is. Right leg is going to come in. Oh, I'm just turning so you can see. So my left leg is straight in front. Right foot is in towards my thigh. You can experiment if you'd rather have it farther down. Depends on your level of comfort. And we're gonna sit up nice and tall. Inhale, exhale, we're gonna slowly bend forward here. Hands come to either side of the leg. Right now, it's not all about just like collapsing forward. We don't want to collapse forward. We want to try to keep our back nice and straight. It's a nice gentle pull. If you're getting too much of a pull, you can ease up. Good, and switching sides. I'll switch so you can see me. Right leg will be out straight this time. Left leg will be in where it's comfortable. Nice and tall spine. Inhale, exhale. We'll walk our hands forward till we feel a gentle pull. Just go as far down as you can keep the back straight. No slumping. And we'll ease back up. This time both feet will be out together. Sitting up nice and tall like we're gonna start our staff pose. This time let's point our feet. Inhale and exhale, walking the hands forward just like we did previously, trying to keep that back straight. Gentle pulls here, back off if anything is too intense. Let's find a nice little sweet spot. Next, on your next inhale, gently press up. We're gonna come to lie on our backs. So coming to lie on our backs. Your feet should be about even with your hips, so not out too far, but in line with your hips. You can kind of feel the top of the back of your heels to know if that's a good distance. We're gonna do a couple bridges here to restabilize our pelvis. So we're gonna take a big inhale. Exhale, we're going to lift and peel our lower back up. off the ground, and then lower back down, and then press up. And lower down, and inhale, lift, and exhale, lower. A few more times, inhale, lift, and exhale, lower. Just one more time, and lower down slowly. Good. Hugging both of our knees into our chest. Just giving our legs a nice hug. And maybe rocking from side to side. You can also make little circles and switch directions. Feet will come back flat on the floor. Your left leg coming up, crossing on top of your right knee. Be pulling the legs into our body so our hands can either come through the leg and up on top of the right shin. A nice gentle pull, even coming through to the back thigh of the right leg. Deep breaths here. And relaxing and switching sides. Right foot up this time, crossing over, pulling the legs into the body, hands either coming to the thigh or top of the shin, whatever is more comfortable. You can play around here by flexing and pointing your feet, just seeing what kind of sensation you feel. Dropping the feet down. We'll do one last little twist here. So we can either goal post our arms or keep them straight out depending on what kind of space you have. We're going to drop our knees over to the left, looking over to the right. And here, I don't want you to pull your stomach in. I want you to let it rise and fall naturally with the breath. Both of your shoulders are on the floor here. On your next inhale, bring your legs back to center. Exhale, coming over to the right, switching sides. Next inhale, bringing the legs back to center. We're gonna go ahead and get a setup for Savasana. So Savasana is probably one of my favorite parts of yoga. It's also known as corpse pose. So I recommend staying in this pose for 10 minutes if you have the time, but I would at least recommend 2 to 5. What you'll need is your blanket. So I'll get you set up here. Just gonna come lying down on your back. You can go ahead and put your blanket over you. You might be a little warm now from the movement, but as we lay still, our body will cool down. So we're just laying here on our back, palms are facing up, letting the feet naturally kind of fall. Maybe they open up a little bit so you feel like your hips turning out. Just noticing the breath here. Just the pace. Is it fast? Is it slow? And maybe shutting down the eyes, closing your eyes gently. Doing a bit of a body scan, starting from the top of your head, feeling it press into the mat, releasing any tension in your forehead and around your eyebrows, relaxing the muscles of your jaw and your face, lowering down to your shoulders, feeling them press into the floor, and light pressure on the back of your hands. And feeling anchored in your hips. And moving down to your legs, maybe you need to wiggle, let out any tension, or just kind of get a little situated, making sure you're comfortable. And just pointing, flexing the feet, letting them fall naturally. And we're going to circle back to our intention from the beginning of class, and that is grounding. Feeling the points of connection to the ground physically. Are allowing our breath to be even, recentering us. Now just letting the body melt into the ground. Feeling the body become heavy and relaxed. And we're just going to stay here for a few minutes. And as you're here, inhaling for 4 counts. And maybe start exhaling for 5. Then inhaling for 4. And exhaling till 6. And maybe trying this pattern of breathing until you're inhaling for 4 and exhaling for 8. So whatever is comfortable for you. I hope you stay here a few more minutes and feel more grounded and centered after this practice.